Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry it's been a while, I've just been really busy. But I also wanted to just take my time before I made this video and just really just sort of like, I wasn't really going to focus on this one, but I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest regarding this story with Bubba Wallace. Now, I said in video number 2 that there are going to be a lot of companies and potentially a lot of celebrities that are going to use this moment with Black Lives Matter to help advance their goals, and you know, use this as a chance to capitalize on this moment to just get some brand awareness and things like that. The reason I wasn't taking this Bubba Wallace thing seriously at first was because, you know, I'd done some quick deductions in my head and just realised there's too many variables going on in this story for me to just even really consider taking it seriously, and I just really wasn't focused on it, right? That was based on the fact that NASCAR have been a company that have flown the Confederate flag for years, and refused to get rid of it. And also Bubba Wallace knowing what kind of company he's working for and still continuing to work there. So that might seem a bit harsh to some people, but that's just how I think about it, right? Yeah. Yes, I don't want to see anyone to be a victim of racism at all. I can't stand racism, etc. But and you know, I do sympathize with him, but at the same time, if you're aligning yourself with a place where you could be vulnerable to being racially attacked because you know that environment and you still choose yourself to be there, you kind of lose points with me on that. But anyway, that's just me, right? So I just thought a quick way of just explaining my thought process behind this was just to quickly break down the timeline and just quickly talk about how I feel about this and what I want to impart to you guys, right? Because I don't want you to get caught out there with symbolism, and I don't want you to get caught out there thinking that some of these companies are behind you but not really realizing their ulterior motive, right? So recent weeks we've seen statues coming down, we've seen calls for bans on the Confederate flag in America, and the statues for different figures, some heinous figures over the years, from across the world, right? Yeah, so that's been the trend and the movement, right? Yeah, and the NASCAR are known for flying that Confederate flag, but in the past they had an opportunity to get rid of it and they chose to keep it, right? Okay, so now they've seen what's the way the world's going, etc. So this is what's happened this month. So on June the 9th, we can look over here at this timeline. On June the 9th, Bubba Wallace, the only black full-time driver on the NASCAR circuit, calls on the sport to permanently ban the Confederate flag. Okay, NASCAR decides to ban it, and there was a race that was postponed due to rain. Now that was on the 21st. Now when that happened, someone from Wallace's team discovered a suspected noose in his garage store. NASCAR confirmed the discovery of the noose and they contacted Bubba Wallace. So Bubba himself didn't find the noose. NASCAR have got in touch with him to say to him, this noose has been found, we're taking this very seriously, it could be a hate crime, we're going to look into it. NASCAR released this statement. Late Sunday afternoon, NASCAR was made aware that a noose was found in the garage store of the 43 team. We are angry and outraged and cannot state strongly enough how seriously we take this heinous act. We have launched an immediate investigation and will do everything we can to identify the person or persons responsible and eliminate them from the sport. As we have stated unequivocally, there is no place for racism in NASCAR, and this act only strengthens our resolve to make the sport open and welcoming to all. In addition to that, the FBI get involved, and they don't assign just one or two or three agents. They assign 15 agents to this case. Okay, so this is being investigated by NASCAR and it's being investigated by the FBI, right? Yeah. On that same day as the FBI launches their investigation, Bubba Wallace is supported by other rally car drivers on a big event. His car's pushed to the front of a race. There's loads of people coming out showing their solidarity. He's crying on the car. One of the founders of NASCAR's there, quite an elderly gentleman, just to show their support and that. You know, great scenes. I'm not here to diss that whatsoever. Okay. Also, Bubba Wallace is going on the news, he's going on various talk shows, and he's talking about, potentially being this victim of this hate crime, okay? The next day, the FBI reveals that the suspected noose in the garage is just a garage door pull rope. That's how they've investigated it, and it had been in use for the last year, right, yeah? Particularly since like the last fall is what I think the official date was, okay? So, at this time now, it's been revealed that it's not a hate crime. Wallace comes out, praises the FBI, and says that he's relieved and that he's not the target of a racist gesture. And he goes to Twitter and he puts out this statement. It's been an emotional few days. First off, I want to say how relieved I am that the investigation revealed that this wasn't what we feared it was. I want to thank my team, NASCAR, and the FBI for acting swiftly and treating this like a real threat. I think we will gladly take a little embarrassment over what the alternatives could have been. Make no mistake though, some will try. This should not detract from the show of unity we had on Monday and the progress we've made as a sport to be a more welcoming environment for all. Also, at the same time, after the FBI report, NASCAR released a statement that said the FBI has completed its investigation at the Talladega Superspeedway and determined that Bubba Wallace was not the target of a hate crime. The FBI report concludes and photographic evidence confirms that the garage door pull rope, fashioned like a noose, had been positioned there since as early as last fall. This was obviously well before the 43 team's arrival and garage assignment. We appreciate the FBI's quick and thorough investigation and are thankful to learn that this was not an intentional racist attack against Bubba. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all who love racing. That's all fine and dandy, right? So they've got that. They've now received a slew of backlash on social media from fans and from people who are quite skeptical of this to say, why have you taken it all this far before actually waiting to find out what had gone on, right? Yeah. So they're getting all this backlash and they're now having to save face. So the next day they release, as it says down here, NASCAR releases a picture of the garage door pull showing a long length of rope fashioned into a loop with one end coiled around it. When you look at the picture, and I'll see if I can drop it in here. When you look at the picture, it looks like a noose, right? Yeah. So they've released that image on the Friday in response to the backlash that they're receiving. Now, to me, I'm thinking to myself, well, hang on a second. Had Bubba even seen this this noose before now? Because had he seen it, his first statement wouldn't have been this, we'll gladly take a little embarrassment over what it could have been. His first statement would have been, well, guys, we've come to this conclusion, or we made the public aware of this because this is what we found, this noose here. But it comes to turn out that the guy hadn't even seen the noose. So he's gone on TV to all these reports. He's gone and done this big, massive event and got people coming out there, crying with him. Well, he was crying, hugging him, showing him support, etc., etc. And the guy himself hasn't even seen what was suspected to be found in his garage.
But I never seen the noose. I never reported it. Like I said, I was going to dinner.
So to me, that doesn't really make much sense. Also, the FBI, when they investigate something, they're going to be very forensic about how they investigate it. And remember, this investigation was conducted by 15 agents, right? Not just one person, but 15 of them. And their official determination was that it was a garage door pull fashioned like a noose, right? Not operating as a noose, but fashioned like a noose. Now, this is why this is important. When you have a noose, it's tied with what's called a slip knot, which means that when you add weight to it, it does what it's supposed to do. It will hang you, it will choke you because it's going to get smaller and tighter, right? You cannot use a noose as a garage door pull, right? Yeah, because if you try to put your weight on it to pull it down as a garage door pull, it's going to squeeze your hand, right? Yeah. So the FBI have officially designated that it is a garage door pull, and as of this recording, which is on the Sunday, they haven't overturned that, right? Yeah. So therefore, it is a garage door pull. Plus, no one could have known that Bubba Wallace would have been, and that's been in the garage since last October, plus no one could have known that Bubba Wallace would have been assigned that garage, right? Yeah, they could have come to that conclusion before going public, but they didn't. And I've got to ask why. Like, for me, I feel as though NASCAR realised they need to be seen to be going with the direction of the public on this, and they know that they're open for scrutiny against that Confederate flag stuff. Bubba himself should have really waited before, and I don't 100% blame him, but he does take some responsibility for this, because he should have waited to actually, because if it was me, I would want to see the image before I'm going around and I'm telling people I'm the target of some hate crime and stuff. So he hasn't even done that, and he's quick to go on the news and this, that, the other. I think Bubba and NASCAR have used this opportunity, unfortunately, just to raise their own profiles, to be honest. Ultimately, this is going to make it even harder for someone who is officially the target of a hate crime to be believed. So I think it's irresponsible of NASCAR, and I think it was irresponsible of Bubba. And as of this recording, the FBI have not overturned their decision that he was not that it was a garage door pull, and they haven't gone back on their word. They haven't gone back on their outcome by saying that he was not the target of this hate crime, of a hate crime. He's not the target of a hate crime, and they haven't reversed on that. So, you know, once I put all those things together, I said to myself, see, I knew not to get involved with this and not to justify it, but you know, certain people out there seem to be angry with me for not going on and being behind it. But you can see where hopefully you can see where I've come from on this. Anyway, this video has gone on long enough. This moment for Black Lives Matter is for supporting Black American descendants of slavery, and we need to help them by getting them protected status within the UN, so that they can get human rights protection from the American government, which is mistreating them. There are links to petitions down in the description below. Please sign, please share, and that's it for this video. Please stay connected, stay safe, and let's get this done.